Frederico the Opera Frog. Once upon a time, in the marshlands near a small town, there was a frog by the name of Frederico who had a big dream. Frederico yearned to become the world champion opera singer, but alas, he had no actual voice. He had always been make sounds by expelling air through his eyeballs, which caused an odd squishing noise, but he was driven to make real music. Despite the odds against him, Frederico practiced every single day. He sang along to his favorite records and attended operas by famous singers from around the world. He even went to visit the local singing teacher, but she looked at him in between sighs and said, "My dear, a frog singing opera? That is preposterous, surely give up now." But Frederico refused to give in. He tried to sing in the pond, but the other amphibians laughed at him. Then he tried singing on a lily pad, but even the birds looked at him strange. One day, Frederico found out about a singing contest that would pit all of the loudest animal species against each other. He knew that this was his chance to show the world that he had a talent that was just as impressive as any other. He practiced day and night, even perfecting a complicated aria that he had learned from a famous composer. The day of the contest arrived and the marshlands were filled with creatures of all shapes and sizes. The hippos were grunting loudly, the wolves were howling fiercely, and the lions were roaring at the top of their lungs. Frederico was worried, but he marched onto the stage with determination. He cleared his throat and began to sing, squishing his eyeballs as he did so. At first, the audience snickered, but then they started to listen. There was something unique about the sound, something almost magical. As he sang, Frederico's voice grew louder and larger, filling the whole space with sound. The other animals looked on, at first in disbelief, but then in awe. Finally, Frederico finished his performance and the crowd burst into applause. The judges, a panel of eagles, giraffes, and dolphins, conferred and then announced that Frederico had won the competition. This was a completely unexpected twist, and the audience couldn't believe their ears. The animals were amazed, crowding around Frederico, overwhelmed by his concerto. From that day on, Frederico was known as the world-renowned singing frog, and he was respected and admired by creatures far and wide. And in the end, Frederico had proven that no matter what species you are or what limitations you may have, determination and passion will always overcome them. Frederico had shown the marshlands and the world that anything is possible with a little grit, creativity, and confidence. As for the singing teacher, she couldn't believe her eyes when Frederico became the bestseller on the music charts. She only sighed and said, "I never would have thought, but sometimes the most curious combinations yield the most beautiful results."